Hello everyone, my name is Fleur. This is a half-hour yin session for you. So if you're new to yin, bring some props into the space, maybe some pillows, some books or some towels. If you don't have a bolster, what you can do is you can take a pillow, squash it together and then roll a towel around it. And books are good, quite thick ones, maybe that you can then pad up with some pillows or cushions, but you can also do this without anything at all. So we're just going to start lying on the floor, and again, make it comfortable for you. Some of the blanket over your mat, or if you don't have a mat, just a towel will absolutely do. Lie on your back, and then bring the soles of the feet together. Have the feet slightly away from your hips. You have your arms by the side. If this feels too intense for your hips already, then place maybe 2 pillows or books underneath the hips or the lower thighs. You can rest your arms by the side. You can rest your hands on your belly as you see mine's growing, or you can also raise your arms over the head and hold your elbows. Let's start by just releasing into this pose. So trying to find a really comfortable way to be in this position, noticing if there's anything that feels like it's holding on. And today I would like to practice with you an inner smile, where we smile into the areas that we wish to send some love to and some release. So scan your body and see if there's anywhere that needs your attention, and imagine an inner smile. And that is spreading to the body. Feel the breath as you breathe here in and out. And then notice your heartbeat. And as we lie here, gradually feel the weight of your hips on the floor, and the weight of your shoulder blades, and the weight of the back of your head. And let the weight of the legs soften. If you at any point want to take a big breath in and then sigh it out, let yourself be free in doing that as well. Really nourishing yourself here. Staying for just another minute here or so. Allowing the back to release. And then taking a breath in, deep breath in, and then slowly releasing that breath. And then if your arms were over the head, you can stretch them out for a moment. And then bring yourself down. Ooh, I'm yawning already. Good. And then with the help of your hands, if your legs were flopped out to the side, bringing the legs back together. Stepping the feet down, removing any props that are on the side, and then bring up your left and your right leg, holding the knees, one hand on the thumb, and then give your back a little gentle rock side to side. So you're rolling over the lower back and the glutes, so the top of the glutes. And feel if you lift the feet a little bit that you go a little higher. You feel that you can really rock side to side, so nice gentle rocking motion, and you can see that you can actually go quite far over to the side, and then the top leg pulls you back up, and it's just a gentle massage for the rim of the hips. It's a nice little rocking motion here, side to side for a few moments, and you might feel that you're also massaging gently into the shoulders here. So the top leg helps you to pull the body back up. And just continue a few more nice rolls side to side. Nice. Good. And then from here, let's come rolling all the way over to one side. Lie there for a moment. And then pushing the top arm into the floor, straighten out your top leg, not fall still in the way there. Let the head be heavy and come rolling up to a seated position. Lovely. Now we're going to come up to seated. And then from here, working a little bit more into the lower back. Let's bring ourselves into a nice forward fold. We're going to come into a Janu A position. So the position is a seated tree. We're going to stretch out through the, this is your left, my right, your right, my left. Bring in one leg at a time. Doesn't really matter which one we're starting with. Bring it in, if you can, quite high up towards your pubic bone. If this feels uncomfortable for the knee, again, you can place something underneath the knee, like a pillow or a cushion. You can also bring the leg slightly further forward. And if you feel it's uncomfortable for the side of your foot, you can place maybe a pillow or cushion underneath there so you're not on the hard floor. And then see, again, hiccups. And see if you can either frame your foot and start to soften your head down towards the shin. You might feel this in the lower back hiccups again. The baby. Now, if you're like me and you feel like you can't really get forward and there's not a lot of space for your back, what you could do is you can take some pillows and place it underneath your hips. So you don't have sort of this position of, oh, I'm trying to get forward. Or what you can try and do is just open up your leg a little bit out to the side, which is what I'm going to do, and then bring your hands sort of in the middle between your leg and your legs, and then see if you can fold it forward. So this one will go a little bit more into the inner thigh, so this goes more into your back and hamstring, but see which feels more interesting. Sometimes you sort of rock into the side here. You can also try this, rocking a little bit side to side. So we're working here into the kidney meridians. So here the lines of the organs that help us remove waste and create new blood and eliminate the things that are not needed in our body, and we're also working into this release into the hamstring here. So find the right position now and then start to soften your head down. And very gradually, you don't have to reach anywhere. Think of the shoulders beginning to feel heavy. If you feel you need more support, you have your pillow or cushion there, maybe you want to place that over your leg so that you can rest on it. And let's come to a still position. Breathing slowly. Notice your edge. And when you found the edge, just linger there and observe how it feels like to be there. What does it bring up? And you might notice how you now have softened a little bit already. So continue observing what is happening in you. Entering into any new spaces carefully and slowly. About 30 seconds left. And taking a breath in, feel that deep breath. And again, sighing it out if you like, feeling that you're getting even more release through this exhale. And then roll yourself back up. Nice and slowly, just checking in with yourself as you roll up. Give your straight leg maybe a little shake. And then straighten out the other leg. Give that a little shake. Feeling the energy flow come back. And then when you're ready, let's do the other side. Again, set up in a way that feels supported to you. It might be very different, so you might notice, oh, this is a bit tighter, and you might have to put a pillow on it. Let's see. So let's begin by again finding, first of all, this slight forward fold. I'm going to go again in the middle towards this leg. This is my tighter leg, so I know I won't go as far. And I'll just explore again. Where is my first edge, the first point of contact where I feel something? And then I linger there. And remain and explore. How does it feel? Does it feel enough? Or am I holding on? Can I explore what is right for me today? Let the head again soften, just like before. You're taking your time. And sometimes these practices really shine a light on how we are in our everyday life. So we might notice that we're very aware and conscious in our yoga practice, and we come there with the best intentions, and then we go out into the real life and we stress out again, and we are not really aware what we're doing, or we don't take as much care of ourselves as we have done in this dedicated time. So the idea is that you begin to notice more and more about how can you take your practice of awareness, of noticing into your daily life, into everything you do really. So your life becomes your yoga practice, the practice of awareness, of noticing. So always checking in with your breath, with your sensations. And again, notice how the body is softened now a little bit more. Maybe just fractionally. More seconds here. then taking again a breath in and exhaling, sighing it out. Slowly rolling yourself up and then giving the leg a little shake. And then stretching your other leg away from you and give that a little shake. Good. And now we're going to come to one of my favorites. I just really like this one. So opening your legs as wide as feels comfortable. Again, you can have something in the middle between you and the floor, like a big pillow, and again, start leaning forwards. Apologies. Good. And if again you feel like you can't reach forward, or you feel the strain in the back of your legs is too much, bend your knees, keeping the feet down. So you're not flexing your feet, you're just relaxing the feet like a sort of spider legs. You can hold onto your ankles and then soften the head down. So you're feeling this here now in the inner groin. So in the legs, if it's comfortable for you to have the legs straight, and if you feel you can't lean forward a lot, then place again something underneath your hips, like a pillow, a cushion, so you have a little bit more height. And it might mean that you're not coming very far forward. So you might be here and already feel it in your legs and your back. Then avoid the temptation to try and sort of reach forward, because you want to relax into it, you want to let go a little bit. Now to get into this, if it feels nice, you can give yourself a gentle little rock side to side. Just gently, and you might feel that one leg, in my case again it's the right leg, my right leg is a little bit tighter than my left. One leg feels a little bit more intense as you do this. And the body will want to then go to the side that is easier. So you might notice there's a little sort of twist happening here. But we want to avoid it, so try and keep really in the middle between your legs. And again, in my case, this means that I feel it more, a slight bit more, not like super intensely more on the right side. And then prop up if you need to. And you can let your head very gradually soften down into the center. Sometimes it feels nice to maybe rest the hands under the chin, if that doesn't strain into your neck. I'm going to stay here a little bit longer so you have a bit of time to be present with yourself. And this being present with yourself is really what teaches us to stay in the moment. Sometimes it can become uncomfortable. Sometimes we notice that staying present with our thoughts and our physical sensations can trigger things in us. But again, if that feels too much, you can always back out. You can always take it a little easier and change it. There's no, drama that we want to pursue. We want to just explore to where we feel we can move forward slowly and with our own pace. And the beauty is that when we notice something that is uncomfortable and we find that we are able to stay just a little bit longer, or we observe, actually I'm okay, or actually I'm noticing this feeling and I'm with the feeling in a loving and compassionate way, that we are more able to stay in these situations, that we're able to be there for ourselves, because our body and our mind then trusts us that we don't push or do too much to ourselves. So also another thing is you can always check in with your breathing. How is your breath? Can you lovingly smile at the breath and send the breath to any areas again that feel they want to have a little bit more release? And if you notice there's a space that is open, maybe you can enter into that space again slowly. Just another minute or so here. Again, if you feel there's a bit more space, curiously enter into it very slowly. And then again, finding a lovely deep breath. And then side out. And bring the hands underneath your shoulders as they were forward. And roll yourself back up. Carefully bend your knees one by one with the help of your hands. And bring them back together. And I like to sometimes just bring the hands behind me then. And just either give my hips a little, my knees a little move side to side like windshield wipers. And then if you want a little bit more action, you can also lift up the hips, just squeeze the glutes, think of pulling up the heart, pushing down into the heels, and then releasing again. Good. And stretch the legs out for a moment. Give them a little shake. Good. I'm going to come to just one more pose. So from here, roll yourself back up, bending your knees. And come sitting on your knees for a moment. If sitting on your knees does not feel good, then just keep in a sort of tabletop and see how far you can sort of push back with your hips. Give yourself a little wiggle. And just do one thing for upper body, for upper back. Come to an Anahatasana. So moving back a bit so you can see a bit better. So from here, give the hips first of all a little wriggle, and then walk your hands forward so your hips are over your knees, and start to stretch your arms away from you until you feel you can let the forehead rest on the floor, and keep softening the heart towards the floor as well. Now if you feel there's pressure on your forehead, that the skin is either being pushed upwards or downwards, or your nose is being crushed, what you can do is you can take another pillow or so, roll it a little bit up, and then place it under your forehead so you have a little bit of support there, and then stretch your arms away from you. Sometimes a bit like finding the right position for your head, because you don't want skin being pushed, and it shouldn't feel too uncomfortable. I have to find it myself now because I don't usually use a pillow. I just place it on the floor. And if it's too intense here, just think of doing one arm at a time. So resting your forehead on your forearm, and then stretching out one arm to the side. And we're not staying too long here. Just want to release a bit into the hips. And I'll tell you halfway so that you can change if you do have the arms one at a time. If you're quite open in your chest, you can try bringing your chin to the floor instead. Keeping your upper arms rolled outwards. So imagine your elbows want to come towards the floor. It should feel not too strenuous. Let's begin. So melting heart pose. Letting your chest open. Again, you can always change it a bit if you need it a little bit gentler by drawing the hips back to a more childlike position. See how the breath can help you in this position as well. The breath moving into the diaphragm and softening through the rib cage. And you're halfway, so if you had one arm bent and the other straight, change over to the other side. Thirty seconds left. And taking a deep breath in. And exhale, sighing it out. Start to bend one elbow and the other. If you had one arm out, just bend the elbow then straight, pushing the floor away slowly. And come to a tabletop position. Maybe you like to go straight into a little cow, cat, curl. Cat, cow, curl. Rounding through the back. And then coming back. Then maybe make some circles into the spine, so rotating through the spine in one direction and in the other direction. Just a little release here. Good. And then before we come to our final resting pose, tuck your toes under, and if it feels nice, see if you want to just come to a downward dog position. If this is too active for you, you can straight away move to lying on your back, making it really comfortable. You can shake out the head in your downward dog. Good. And then bringing your knees down and sit on one side, bringing the legs out in front of you, and then make it really comfortable for you. Come lying on your back. Open your arms to the side, and then before we completely relax, make your hands into fists and then push your arms into the floor. Point your toes and spread your toes away from you. Squeeze your buttocks, pull in your belly, push your chin a little bit to the throat and push the back of your head into the floor. Think over your chest broadening, everything is really tight, your face, squeeze it up. Take a deep breath and hold it for a moment, and then exhale, let the fingers uncurl. And just let yourself completely release into the floor. Your breath might still go a little bit deeper, and then gradually allow the breath to soften, to soften. to soften so that the breath becomes like the waves of release. And each breath is like this sound of a swoosh of a wave. And your heartbeat is slowly softening now. And you can have your eyes closed or half closed, but be with your body now. Feel the stillness and feel the shape of your body as you're lying on the floor. Feel the length of your neck, the back of the neck, and the distance between the neck and the floor becoming a little bit less wide so that the neck and all the muscles in the neck release as well. And then feeling your jaw and your tongue, and allow the tongue to just be very soft. And the jaw also releasing anything that is holding on, especially where the jaw meets the skull. Let the tongue rest in the top of the palate, the tip of the tongue resting at the top of the palate. And feel your eyeballs and the corners of your eyes, and that space from one eye to the next. And then feel your palms of your hands and the energy and the curled fingers, just releasing the hands. Let them be heavy on the floor. And then your feet, feel the soles of your feet and your toes. And then take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out. Move your toes, move your fingers. Stretch your arms over the head for a nice long stretch. And you can relax again for a little moment. If you want to stay longer, you can of course do this, otherwise I'm just guiding you back. So in your own time, you can draw one leg and then the other into your chest and give yourself a little hug. And again, you can rock side to side if you like, massaging your lower back until you come rolling over to one side. And in your own time, find a way up to seated. You can sit cross-legged or any other way that feels good for you. Maybe place some pillows or cushions underneath your hips, resting your hands on your thighs, knees or lap. Having your eyes closed and balance the skull on top of your spine. Let your belly be soft as you breathe in. And if you like, place your hands to your heart center, lift your heart to your hands, and just give yourself some love and appreciation, thanking yourself for coming to practice and taking this time to work with what is in you right now, this moment. Practicing your patience, your awareness, and your self-care. And I also thank you for being part of this here and joining me. Please place any comments or questions into the chat, or you can also message me on social media and connect. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day. Namaste.